What's up, everybody, and welcome to Looking Forward, where we talk about what matches to watch for this upcoming week of the RLCS, as well as your clutch playmaker that you should be looking out for your fantasy team as well. But without further ado, let's get right into it. In the third week of RLCS League Play, G2 and FlyQuest put on quite the show. Both have minimal games so far this season, but they battle it out. This new roster on FlyQuest with a bunch of veterans coming together for a major upset. Make sure you check it out. As for EU, the last match of the day was an exciting one. Envy versus Mocket, and it's one you don't want to miss. Envy did have a rough start at the day, dropping 0-3 to Excel, and they had something to prove in this match, but the results might surprise you. Make sure you look at that one as well. Week 4 of RLCS, the match everyone is talking about, G2 Esports versus Energy. Last match of the day, and these guys have quite a bit of history with differing results from the X Games Minneapolis, where Energy went to take the victory, and DreamHack Atlanta, where G2 had a nail-biter against Cloud9 to lose out eventually and not make it to the finals. G2 normally does come out on top in this rivalry, but that also doesn't help because Energy hasn't really been looking the strongest. This could be a crucial game come down as Energy is having an issue, and for tiebreaker implications because Energy is expected to defend their 3-time back-to-back regional championship title. Across the pond, there are 2 undefeated teams left, Method and PSG. And no, I will not try to say it because I tried to do it on overtime and it did not go well. Both of these teams, very, very good. Method, strong defensive team that plays fast, really good defense. They rely on Metzenaris and Magnus. PSG has an MVP rookie and he's surrounded by veterans where pretty much everybody gets involved and they play extremely clean. The touches count. But overall, this match, to me, is going to be probably one of the most anticipated matches of this entire season we've seen to date. So do not miss it. It is going to be a great one. Last week in Fantasy, our top player, and congratulations to him, was Niels Cook from Excel. He obtained a whopping 591 points against the likes of Team Envy and Team Secret. Both games were 3-0 and really padded his stats, but despite that, and despite Excel being a team a lot of us were sleeping on, he's only 1 spot out of the top 10 and is relatively cheap to pick up in exchange for other players like Remco that are a little bit more expensive. Do some wiggling room and some wrestle space if you are trying to find a player that just isn't in your range and you want to swap somebody out. Obviously, this is going to take multiple weeks to do, but it is something to consider. A close second, you saw Fairy Peak at 552, and my boy Bluey stepping up big after I missed out on him last week at 533. Congrats to all 3 players. All right, not gonna lie, this week is difficult for me for fantasy. First and foremost, I've got to get rid of Gimmick, and I had to get rid of Remco because both of them have buys. So I decided to put Gimmick on the bench because Remco is worth more money, and I ended up picking up Niels Cook. Niels Cook, to me, is one of the most influential players right now, simply for 2 reasons. 1, he is just barely out of the top 10, like I mentioned a little bit ago. And 2, he's doing that as the only player right now who has only played 2 matches. So he's at a match disadvantage for points, and he's still in the top 15. Like, you have to pick up Niels Cook. He's such a good pick. And he's playing against 2 teams that I think he's got a good chance against. Number 1, Flipside Tactics, who hasn't been looking at great. And it may balance out a little bit with PSG, but it's still going to be worthwhile points for a player that hasn't given us a bad week just yet. Also, do not forget, guys, that teams and players do have buys each week. As for this week, we'll go over that. But the easiest way to free someone up, if you do have multiple players on the bench or something where they're not going to be able to play because of a buy, switch the one that you have to the bench that is worth the most value and trade them off. And then trade the new player on. In this case, for me, I picked up Niels Cook. And then I put Gimmick on the bench because he does not play. It is one way to handle the issue of having 2 players on a bye. But the teams that you are going to need to pay attention to, for Cloud9, the 3 players, Squishy, Torment, Gimmick. For Allegiance, Seabass, Tie Knot Tyler, and Illusion, all 3 players who have been scoring pretty high. Envy, Remco, Devo, and Greasymeister. And then for Team Secret, Tylacto, Flame, and Continuum. All 4 of those teams have a bye this weekend. Now I'm curious, what matches are you guys looking forward to this weekend? Make sure you start your discussion down below. Hit me up with one of the things that you're really excited about or any players that you're rooting for specifically. But that does it for this week of Looking Forward. Game starts Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific for North America, and Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific for Europe. Thanks again, everybody who's watching, and make sure you drop any suggestions down below. We're trying to edit this and update production as the weeks go by. Also, don't forget the autumn update starts at 5 p.m. Central Thursday, or today when this video is probably coming out. So make sure you stop by the stream, twitch.tv/Lawler, and come hang out and see all the new cools that are coming out. But that's going to do it. I'm out of here. Peace.